The world is full of cars that are made to look stunning, go fast and inspire admiration. But then there are these cars that make a passerby stop, and not because they're beautiful, no, but because they raise the question. Why on earth was that even made? Welcome to the world where engineers' coffee breaks have clearly lasted far too long. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you a small favor. Because you watch this amazing content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 99% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Imagine what we could accomplish if everyone subscribed. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. Great, thank you. Throughout history, the automotive industry has been one of humanity's biggest playgrounds. At its best, it creates icons. At its worst, well, you will see in a bit. Yet these oddities matter. Without taking risks, there is no innovation, and without innovation, the world would have fewer stories to tell. Today, we dive deep into automotive curiosities, overly optimistic prototypes, desperate experiments, and models that were ahead of their time, or just truly terrible ideas. Lotus Europa. Engineers celebrated, the public shocked. Lotus designed the Europa to be a mass-produced, two-seat, mid-engine sports coupe built at reasonable cost. Rather ambitious goal for the time. Its lightweight structure came from a steel backbone chassis and a fiberglass body. 10 early versions had the body glued permanently to the frame for maximum rigidity, but this was soon changed to a bolted-on body so that normal frame and body repairs would be possible. Europa was one of the boldest mid-engine experiments of its era, but the looks, that was another story. Europa looks like someone melted a sports car in an oven and then stretched it by hand into its sleek shape. Perhaps that is why the Europa became legendary. It was light, agile, and shaped by aerodynamics, not beauty. In the late 60s and early 70s, it was so ugly that it actually became cool. 9. Yugo. When a car costs less than a microwave, its full original name was Zastava Yugo GV. Zastava had a long history in former Yugoslavia, and GV was supposed to mean good value. In reality, the value was the only part that held true. The Yugo is one of the most famous worst cars in history. Cheap, simple, and, well, cheap. The Yugo was based on old Fiat models. Amazingly, it succeeded where many didn't. It sold in large numbers in the United States. The ads promised dreams. Reality delivered spontaneously detaching door handles and technology that struggled with even a chilly autumn evening. Still, the Yugo has a cult following, and for good reason. It is the perfect example of how extreme cost-cutting can be wrapped onto four wheels. And to top it off, in 2025, there have been reports of the Yugo making a comeback. Who really missed it? Or did anyone? 8. Amphicar 770, the car that didn't know if it was a car or a boat designed by Hans Trippel. The amphibious Amphicar 770 was a vehicle that couldn't decide its element. It could drive not only on roads, but also on water. It was manufactured and marketed in West Germany from 1961 to 1968, though production actually stopped in 1965. The 770 designation comes from its speeds, 7 knots on water and 70 miles per hour on land. On land, it could reach 112 kilometers per hour. On water, it floated a bit. After every session in water, the car required lubrication at 13 points. One of which required removing the rear seat. It leaked more water than an optimistic rowboat, yet somehow became iconic. US President Lyndon B. Johnson famously used the Amphicar to prank guests by driving into a lake while shouting, "The brakes failed." One of the most charming oddballs in history? Absolutely. 7. Reliant Robin, a charming, three-wheeled death trap. 3 wheels, 2 seats, and one very bad idea. The Reliant Robin is like a triangle on wheels that tips over at the mere thought of a corner. It is so unstable that Top Gear's Jeremy Clarkson turned it into a comedy icon by driving a modified 1994 Robin for 22 kilometers. He described the experience as dangerous as inviting your mother to a night on chat roulette. Yet the Robin was affordable, light, and surprisingly popular. Over 27,000 sold. Beautifully ugly, mostly just ugly, but in its own special way. Robin wasn't funny, it was a perfect threat. Jeremy Clarkson.
Wait a minute!
Did you subscribe already? Thanks. 6. Chevrolet Corvair. Innovation caught in a legal drama. The Corvair was a bold American rear-engine experiment. The first of its kind. Its reputation suffered when Ralph Nader published Unsafe at Any Speed, accusing the Corvair of being dangerous. A legal battle followed, pressuring the automaker to focus on safety in the design phase. Some sources argue the lawsuit actually extended the model's life by forcing improvements, while the discontinuation was more likely due to the end of development for air-cooled engines than the safety controversy. Visually, the Corvair is not the ugliest on this list, but its odd proportions, rear weight bias, and unique design make it a somewhat controversial car. Today it is a collector favorite, but back then it was the car that became a national scandal. 5. Peel P50. The car smaller than a shopping bag. The Peel P50 is the world's smallest production car, according to Guinness World Records. It was built from 1962 to 1965 in just 50 units, of which an estimated 27 remain. This three-wheeled microcar had a 49 cubic centimetre two-stroke engine, producing a mighty 3.5 horsepower. It had 3 gears and no reverse. How is that possible? And why is there a handle at the back? Well, if you got lost on a road trip, the driver could simply step out and lift the car to turn it around. It was so small and light that it didn't need a reverse gear. It's adorable, and that's why it belongs on this list. 4. Tatra T77. When aerodynamics erased beauty. The Tatra T77 was one of the world's first cars designed with aerodynamics in mind. A 4-door sedan with an air-cooled rear-mounted V8. 101 units of the T77 were built between 1933 and 1936, and 154 units of the 77A between 1936 and 1938. It was 30 years ahead of its time, looking like a futuristic sci-fi vehicle among the ordinary cars of the era. Unveiled in Prague on March 4, 1934, and 4 days later in Berlin, it received sensational attention. At the Berlin Auto Show, Adolf Hitler inspected the car and praised it to Ferdinand Porsche, saying, "That is exactly the kind of car I want for my motorways." It was innovative, bold, and completely different. Ugly, perhaps, but certainly strange. 3. Tesla Cybertruck. As angular as a Minecraft armored car. When Tesla unveiled the Cybertruck in Los Angeles on November 21, 2019, people didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The vehicle looked like something from Minecraft, designed by a child during daycare. It has massive power from a dual-motor AWD system and can reach 120 miles per hour in under 5 seconds. Luxury features include transformers providing both 120 and 240 volt power for tools without a generator, adjustable suspension compensating for load changes, but in the end, it was the appearance that stole the show. Oh, and who could forget the legendary moment when the unbreakable windows
oh my God. Well,
broke. The Cybertruck is ugly, but in a modern way, and that makes it perfect for this list. 2. Phantom Corsair. The Phantom Corsair was a 1937 prototype powered by a naturally aspirated 125 horsepower, 4.7-litre Lycoming V8. Despite weighing over 4,563 pounds, it could reach 115 miles per hour thanks to its streamlined shape and strong engine. The design is low, wide, and completely futuristic, especially for 1937. Its aluminum construction and advanced engineering made it a supercar decades ahead of its time. It had seating for 6, with molded rubber seats, and even featured a padded crash bar made of cork and sponge rubber covered in leather to reduce injury risk. But the looks, it is legendary, but unmistakably odd. 1. Lamborghini LM002, the Lambo that doesn't apologize. The LM002 was Lamborghini's off-road vehicle built from 1986 to 1993, with total production estimated at about 300 units. This unusual project began in 1977 with a prototype intended for the US military called the Lamborghini Cheetah. The original Cheetah used a rear-mounted Chrysler V8, which was destroyed during military testing. Lamborghini then created the LM001 with an AMC V8, but it became clear that a rear-mounted engine was terrible for off-road handling. Thus, the LM002 received a front-mounted engine. The final result was a massive, angular, aggressive off-roader with the Countach 512, producing 455 horsepower. The LM002 divides opinions. It's often not just ugly, but beautifully ugly. These 10 cars prove that in the automotive world, even the weirdest and ugliest models can become unforgettable. They challenge our idea of what a car should look like. Some were technological pioneers, others accidental comedies, but all of them left a mark on history. If you want more lists of automotive oddballs, forgotten gems, and controversial classics, remember to subscribe and hit like. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.